Okay, time for a quick crypto update. As most of you probably know, I follow Ether more closely than Bitcoin, but I know people like to watch Bitcoin as a bellwether. So we'll start with that one. We'll start on the daily chart. And I'll say, like, this pattern here, this whole consolidation, things did get a little squirrely in terms of the count. So I like, and in those cases, I really defer to price action. So we had a low there on day 31, right? And so, like, at that point, I'm really just marking swing lows and swing highs. It doesn't have to conform to a magical kind of cycle count, right? So you had your low there on day 31. You ran up, had a high on day 32. I mean, this is pretty ugly. Look at this, whatever. But you had this is your ultimate swing high on day 32. And now, if we zoom in, we did make a swing low here on day 61. And now we're just consolidating these last 3 days. New candle just opened day 4. And so now we'll see, can we hold that level, at approximately 37,800. I suspect we don't. And if we go to Ether really quickly, similar kind of situation. We have a potential swing low on day 60. We're now consolidating for Ether. That level is 2764. Really, everything inside here has been a big consolidation. And we'll go over to the weekly charts. I think these, or let's go to the let's. So we're just on the daily chart. Let's go over the monthly. That's important. So Bitcoin, everyone talks about a 4-year cycle. So thinking about a 4-year cycle would be 48 months. I, I, I've I've had videos about this before, and you can check in the description to see my previous videos on this. But previous cycles, previous 4-year cycle before this one was 47 months. So we had our bottom on December 2018. We now have had a pretty ugly kind of sort of double toppy situation, but more importantly, this is month 35 from this low here, right? So we've been rising more or less for 35 months since this low on December 2018. And so that was November, right? That was November 2021. That was also the top for the NASDAQ. Not a coincidence, which is why I also think that correlation is part of the reason why I think it's pretty clear that crypto is going lower, because the Nasdaq, the QQQ, is clearly going lower, and assuming that correlation continues to hold, that's where that's the direction you'd expect crypto to go. But like focusing on this monthly chart, so this is our last day. So this Saturday, we'll close out this day. Maybe we don't make a fresh low on, today, but seems likely that we're going to make a low below this. I mean, this is essentially a bear flag, right? You have this leg down, then you have this consolidation, right? If I were to draw a segment, right? If I were to like draw a ray from here to here, that's our leg down, right? So if we project that down, that gets us to, right, 23, $24,000 area pretty easily, right? So like if this is your leg down, that's your bear flag, and then we spill over is what you would kind of expect. And if and this is month 40 of a 48-month cycle, so it makes sense. We had our high and now we're declining, right? And so you would expect we continue to decline, and that gives us another roughly 8 months of decline. And so if you look at Ether seems to be on a 15-month cycle, right? And so previous cycle 15 months, cycle before that 15. This was a short bearish one at 9, 15, 14. And so if that holds, our top was November as well, just like Bitcoin. In this case, that was month 5. This is now month 10. And so that would put us at another 5 months of decline for Ether, which would give us a low around October, which actually makes a lot of sense when you think about the merge, right? That could be right around the time the merge happens. And so that is your sort of bottoming event. That's your catalyst for the sort of rocket launch. So at this point, it pays to be patient, right? No need to add any new positions. Also, probably no need to sell. I mean, it depends on how much you're in for right now. But we're clearly in a bearish phase across the cryptos. I'll just do like a quick kind of scan through some of them. I mean, and we'll just open up the multi-panel chart. You can kind of see like these lows. I mean, let's go like AVAX, $64, down from down from 151. Polkadot, down to 16 from 56. Harmony, you know, we topped out at 40 cents. We're now at 9 cents, right? Like Soul, we were at 260. We're now at 93, right? I can go on like Matic, topped out at 3. We're now at $1.16. Ape is kind of moving. That's because they have a, idiosyncratic. That's an idiosyncratic story. They have a catalyst, and so that's doing. There's some land sale going on today, I believe, but everything is universally pretty down. Near a lot of hype around this one. They just launched a stable coin, topped out. Had a high at 20, almost 21. Now down at 11.41. Uh, just in general, we're clearly in bearish mode, but that's a good thing, right? That means we have time to accumulate. That's the way I would think about this. And I would also remind you that Dixie has a really big impact on crypto, and we want to watch for. And I'll post it in the description. My the precious metals video. You'll see there's a section about Dixie at the end of that. But suffice it to say, we're in month 15 out of this, or excuse me, that's the weekly chart. This is month 15 of a 36-month cycle. So we just need to be patient. We're going to have a multi-month decline at some point, but it's going to be a question of when we get that top. Maybe this is the top here. It's possible. We've had other cases, right? This looked like the top in real time. This definitely looked like the top in real time, and it obviously wasn't. And so we'll just have to wait for that reversal. What we'll want to watch for is a monthly swing high. And here's an example of a monthly swing high, right? Once we went below that, that was your monthly swing high. Once we went below that, that was your monthly swing high. These are your tops. And so that's what we're going to want to watch for. We're going to be patient. Because once we get that monthly swing high, as you can see from these examples, the downside continues, right? You don't need to be greedy. Wait for you to break this low, and then there's plenty of downside to catch. Wait for you to break this low, and then you can catch the downside, right? No need to be the first one through the door.